Mark 1:21. And they went into Capernaum, and straightway on the Sabbath day he entered into the synagogue and taught. Entered into the synagogue and taught. This is what he did. Well, bring some balance here too, because in Mark 4th chapter, started at the first verse, he did teach in the open also, in the streets. Here it goes. He said, and he began again to teach by the seaside. This is outside. And there was gathered unto him a great multitude, so that he entered into a ship and sat in the sea. And the whole multitude was by the sea on the land. So this whole multitude of people was on the shoreline. And he taught them many things by parables, and said unto them in his doctrine. So he taught them in riddles, but he taught them from the ship. So he had a very loud voice, very strong voice. He didn't have no weak voice. He taught us one with authority. This world got you all twisted. When you say a man sounds strong with a strong voice, oh, you angry, oh, you mad, oh, you can't handle it because you're so used to this weakness that this world, Esau's world, have you thinking you gotta be a Gentile man. Gotta be such a Gentile man. He wasn't gentle. Mashiach was a hard cat. So he said, let this mind be in you that was in a Mashiach Yahushua. A lot of y'all gonna be fooled to death when you see how the spirit that he's coming back in. Looking for somebody to be all weak and stuff. No. Look at Luke the 19th chapter. It's the parables of how he gave one nobleman 10 talents or 10 pounds, another one, because it say talents in one scripture, but this one is saying pounds, 10 pounds and 5 pounds and 1 pound. And we're going to deal with the one that had one, because everybody increased, doubled theirs, and the one that had one, let's see how he dealt with him. The one that had the one, he said, verse 20, Luke 19:20. And another came saying, Mashiach Yahushua, behold, here is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin. So here go your pound that you gave me, when you're supposed to have been doing something with it. Just like you get this truth, you got to be doing something with it to increase. Not just for yourself. It says, for I feared thee. Listen, I feared thee, because thou art an austere man. You know what that means? Hard. A hard man. Stern man. Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow. And he said unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knewest, listen what he's saying, thou knewest that I was an austere man. This is what he's saying. Let this mind be in you also that was in a Mashiach Yahushua, all you weak suckers out there. He said, let this mind be in you that was in Mashiach Yahushua. It says, thou knewest that I was an austere man, hard, stern man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow. Wherefore then gavest thou not thou my money into the bank? said, wherefore then gave it not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required mine own with usury, having more than what I gave you? And he said to them that stood by, take from him the pound and give it to him that have 10 pounds. So you don't want to do no works? It's cool. That's what he's telling you. He gave you this, the little that he gave you, you don't want to increase it? Hey, he's going to take what you have and give it to those that have the most. Might sound not right to you, but it's all right to me. It's all right with him. It's all right with me. And they said to him, how much he have 10 pounds. See? He have 10 pounds. He said, for I say unto you, that unto everyone which hath shall be given. And from him that hath not, even that he have shall be taken away from him. But those mine enemies that would not that I should reign over them, is what I just told you. Bring them hither, bring them in front of me, and slay them before me. Kill them before me. That's what he said. You don't like what I said? Say, bring out my enemies, you my enemies. You don't like how I roll? He said, you my enemy, bring them before me and kill them right before me. Slay them right before me. Bet you they ain't reading that in the church. How you think you come back to judge and make war? With some weakness? Like he coming back as an austere man as he was in the flesh. Y'all better recognize. Y'all don't know. A lot of you don't know. You think you know because you caught up in this little weak type of Edomite spirit. And then when he deal with you hard, then you ain't gonna know how to deal with it. Just like they didn't know. Oh, hey, look, they got 10 over. He said, I don't care about how much they have. They increased. They doubled what they had. I gave them this amount. They went out there and did the works and increased. It ain't just for us. It's for all of us, the whole nation of Israel. We got to increase. We can't decrease. We got to increase. It's all about increase. Whereas there's some kind of works that you can say, okay, that's being written in the books for you. And that's what it's all about. No more, no less. John the 2nd chapter, 13th verse. John 2 and 13. And the Jews' Passover was at hand. And Mashiach Yahushua went up to Jerusalem and found in the temple. He went in the temple, which is the building, those that sold oxen and sheep and doves and changes of money sitting down in the temple. Hustling. Hustling what? Doves, sheep, oxen, and changes of money. They had money all over the table. Making money in the church. And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drove them out, all out of the temple, and the sheep, and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money, threw over their money, and overthrew the tables, beat them out of the church. This our power. And said to them that sold doves, take these things hence, make not my Father's house a house of merchandise. And his disciples remembered that it was written, the zeal of thine house hath eaten me up. They remembered that was written in the Psalms. Where he's fulfilling what was written. Look at Psalm 69 and 9. And remember, why didn't they remember something that's in the New Testament? Because all they had was the Old Testament to remember. But if you're not spiritual enough to understand that, then maybe this will help you. Psalm 69 and 9. For the zeal of thine house have eaten me up, and the reproaches of them that reproach thee are fallen upon me. That's what they remember. But you see what he did? He whooped them out to church for selling oxen and sheep in the temple. Matthew 21. Matthew 21 and 12. Matthew 21 and 12. And Amashekashai went into the temple of the Most High. And Amashekashai went into the temple of the Most High and cast out all them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seats of them that sold doves. Here it gives as more, even the seats he threw over. Can you imagine? They got money all over the table. That's their money. Threw it over and whooped them out the church. Did they get that? Did they get that money? No. He whooped them out the church. And said unto them, it is written, my house shall be called the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. And the blind and the lame came to him in the temple, and he healed them. And when the chief priests and scribes saw the wonderful things that he did, and the children crying in the temple, not on the street, but in the temple, and saying, Hosanna to the Son of David, they were sore displeased. They were jealous, envious of him, and said of him unto him, hearest thou what they say? And Amashekashai said unto them, yeah. Have ye never read, out of the mouth of babes and sucklings thou hast perfected praise? So what is he doing? What is he quoting? From what they had to go by. The Old Testament. That's it. The law and the prophets. So what is he quoting? He's quoting from the Old Testament. That's what he's quoting from. And that's what we got to look at. Where we're going to actually find Mashiach Yahushua in the volume of the book, the things that he's saying, the apostles, they're quoting from the Old Testament, giving us understanding of what they had, which is the law and the prophets. You're going to see this. Psalm 82. Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings hast thou ordained strength because of thine enemies, that thou mightest steal the enemy and the avenger. See? Make them be quiet. Shut their mouth. Because you're looking at our people, the Pharisees, they were the enemies of Mashiach Yahushua and the Most High. Scribes, a lot of them was the enemies of the Most High and Mashiach Yahushua. Go back to Matthew 21. Verse 23. And when he was come into the temple, once again, he's going to a building. The chief priests and the elders of the people came unto him as he was teaching. What was he teaching? And when he was come into the temple, the chief priests and the elders of the people came unto him as he was teaching, and said, by what authority doest thou these things? And who gave thee this authority? And Mashiach answered and said unto them, I also will ask you one thing, which if you tell me, I and likewise will tell you by what authority I do these things. So he said, hey, this world say you can't answer a question with a question. So, I'll read it to you again. That's why I say, people err not knowing the scriptures. And where you get that from? Where did you get that from? You can't answer a question with a question. That's what he just did. He said, they asked him a question, by what authority, who gave Hamashiach Yahushua this authority? And Hamashiach was answered and said unto them, I also will ask you one thing. If ye tell me, I likewise will tell you by what authority I do these things. Philippians 2:5. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Hamashiach Yahushua. Ba'ashem Hamashiach Yahushua. What question did he ask him? He said, I'll answer you if you can answer me. Matthew 21:25. The baptism of John. Talking about John the Baptist. Whence was it? From heaven or of men? And they reasoned with themselves, saying, if we shall say from heaven, he will say unto us, why did ye not then believe him? But if we shall say of men, we fear the people, for all hold John as a prophet. And they answered Hamashiach Yahushua and said, we cannot tell. And he said unto them, neither tell I you by what authority I do these things. Because he knew what they were going to answer. He knew what the answer was going to be. That's why he asked them that. Caught him up in their speech. You got to use discretion, though. And have wisdom knowing when you can do this and when you can't do this. Mark 11:11. Mark 11:11. And the Hamashiach entered into Jerusalem and into the temple, and when he had looked around upon all things, and now the eventime was come, he went out unto Bethany with the 12. He entered into the temple, into a building. We go back to Luke 19. You're kind of quiet. Y'all still there? Everything all right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, the water. I'm just bringing it like it is, as it is written. Luke 19:45. Luke 19:45. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Hamashiach Yahushua. And he went into the temple and began to cast out them that sold therein and them that bought, saying unto them, it is written, my house is the house of prayer. It's a building that we come in, supposed to be a house of prayer. But ye have made it a den of thieves. And he taught daily in the temple. And he taught daily in the temple. And he taught daily in the temple. This is what Hamashiach Yahushua did. He taught daily in the temple. But the chief priests and the scribes and the chief of the people sought to destroy him, and could not find what they might do, for all the people were very attentive to hear him, as he taught daily in the temple. Mark 11. Look at verse 15.